Let's look at the first 4 pages of a World Studies extended essay. Everyone should have basically exactly the same first 4 pages that look like this. There must be a cover page, a contents page, and then the introduction. The introduction is likely to go on to 1.5 pages of double-spaced writing. So the cover page, first of all, let the computer do it for you. You just say insert cover page and pick whichever one you like. If you pick a photo, make sure it is correctly referenced. So, and generally I'd say don't pick a photo. So here we have it. A cover page must have a title. The title refers to the global issue. So this is Ben's one about algorithmic redlining. I'd never heard the phrase redlining, which is why I put a little fun definition on, because lots of people don't know what that word means, but it is quite an interesting thing where they used to get a red line in a bank. They'd get a red line and draw around a poor area of New York, and they said, we're not loaning people in this area any money, except that when they meant poor, they meant black. So it was a particularly horrible thing. And Ben's argument is that that's still going on today. So this is the title, Algorithmic Redlining. It is done through computers nowadays, but he's arguing it's the same thing. Then you have your research question. You don't have to have a definition. I wouldn't have it unless it's a very unusual word. Well, says his extended essay, which type? Make sure you are aware which type of World Studies essay it is. You must name the 2 subjects that are used. Your personal code, May 2022, and the number of words. So Wellington College and your name do not appear on it, and they should not appear on any of your courseworks. Okay, now the contents page is the first thing that the examiner sees about your proper essay, so it's so important it looks good. This isn't a correct contents page, because I've added loads of subheadings into the introduction, which won't be there in the final one. But it should look impressive, and particularly after the introduction, which Ben hasn't quite finished yet, this section here, which takes the reader through the argument, should look like it's going to answer the research question. There should be sections and subsections that really look like a well-structured essay. There's important marks for that, and obviously a bibliography at the end. So we'll come back to the contents page. So when you write the word introduction, make sure you go in home and it is heading 1. And then anything within that is heading 2. So that's heading 2, heading 1, heading 2. And this means that when the computer makes the contents page, it does it really nicely and automatically. That's a heading 1, that's a heading 2, and then down here is a heading 1. Now we are actually going to delete these subheadings, but for the moment, for your structure, to make sure you're doing it right, leave them in. So the introduction, the global issue, what is it? So 5 or 6 lines saying, what is this redlining? What's going on? And then the case study, he's only written 1 line at the moment, needs a few more lines. America, and some details about what America is doing in the redlining world and within these dates. Why is America a good case study? Another, maybe 2 lines, 3 lines, no more than that. Mainly because in Ben's case, America is a world leader in tech. It's not a very regulated economy. So redlining is a big issue there. And anything we can learn from America, we'll be able to apply to say, this is coming to Europe. Europe follows America in this type of tech. And so it's a really important case study. Okay, again, 2 or 3 lines. And there shouldn't be anything longer than 5 or 6 lines in any of these sections. If you've got a lot of stuff in the introduction, just simply move it to the next section, which I'll come to. Okay, global issue, case study. Why is it an appropriate case study? Then you write the research question, best written like this. Hence, the research question of this essay is that. Why are 2 subjects needed to answer this research question? Don't just list the subjects, say why they're needed. You can't understand machine learning properly without computer science. It's not good enough just to have a generic understanding of it. Ben's essay is going to look very carefully at what an algorithm actually is. And similarly, you can't understand ethics fully without a philosophy background. So you need those two subjects. Otherwise it can't be done. Nice. Hypothesis stated. The essay will show that the use of algorithmic technology has both intentionally and unintentionally furthered the racism and oppression of marginalized people. Nice. That's about the global issue. We're going to use America as a case study to form this opinion. Then we're going to generalize the case study to whatever extent you can show is appropriate. Related issues. There are other things going on with algorithmic technology. For example, every time you use Facebook or Instagram, it is profiling you and trying to put things that you will like there. Now, that is a very interesting thing, but it's not the focus of this essay. So this section, maybe 3 or 4 lines, is here to tell the examiner this essay is focused on one thing only. But it's saying, I'm aware of other stuff, but I'm not going to dirty this essay with them. Significance of the RQ. Say, well, why is this a big topic? Sometimes that's obvious. But another question is to say, why is it a big topic now? I think Ben can make that case. This is growing rapidly at the moment and going into more and more diverse fields. So it's very important we take a step back and think about the ethical side of it now. How is it arrived at? This can be a little bit more personal. This essay is a response to my reading of this by so-and-so, and maybe 2 or 3 lines on that. Then the method. This is the only subheading that I would actually leave in. The method is, and you go through the essay, you say, well, what type of qualitative or quantitative data have you got? How is it going to be evaluated? What is the structure of your argument? Very, very, very important section. 6 lines on this. Similarly, very important, and maybe worth a subheading. Diverse range of sources are used. You must say that because that's a requirement. But then go through these sources. Any problems with them? Ben has based his largely on academic papers, and he's done that because these people are independent thinkers. However, he has used other sources. When he was trying to extend the argument from America around the world, he looked at some statements by the Chinese government. However, they are obviously, from a particular point of view, statements from the Chinese government, and they have to be carefully corroborated. And the other thing to say is there are some limitations to the data he could get. Many of the companies involved in this are highly secretive about what they do. Okay, so that is the introduction. Then I would leave those in and then simply take these out. Take them out so it reads as prose, like this. Take them out and you end up with an introduction that is blocks of prose. And when I go back to the contents page and update it, it just says introduction, method, and source evaluation, and then on to the next major heading, and that is contextual information. Everybody should have this, and that is here, contextual information, subheading the global issue. Let's have a look at this. Here's the global issue, which is the use of artificial intelligence across the world, and it's growing rapidly, and there's a little projection into the future here. We'd have to critique this. What source did this come from? And critique it. But nevertheless, it very clearly shows that this is a hot topic now. And then what actually is machine learning? We want to begin to understand this so that the reader can understand what the essay is about. And then much more details about the American case study. And maybe another graph in here. And then you're on to analysis. Okay, that is World Studies' first 3 pages.